Okay, I would film the whole video so you could see the whole bed, but for the sake of audio, I'm gonna bring you guys a little closer. I am still gonna sit on my cozy little bed here. So why do I sleep on a twin XL mattress on the floor? I think it's a cool story, so I wanted to share it. In 2025, not too long ago at the time of recording this was last year, I went through a really interesting year. So it was kind of precipitated by a big breakup. Big breakup and an evolving spiritual journey that just led me, I just started to be like viscerally sick and tired of all the clutter that I had in my apartment. And so I went through this major process of decluttering where I called it the Walden year. If you don't know, Henry David Thoreau wrote a book called Walden, where he describes, I think it's 2 years that he lived at Walden Pond in a cabin, basically in an effort to see how little he could live on. Like, what was life like without all the excess, without all the noise, just with the bare essentials, making just enough money to survive and turning all other pursuits to higher pursuits like, presence, nature, thinking about the bigger questions of life, creativity, etc. Anyways, so I called this my Walden year, and I basically, just started letting go of, selling, donating all the stuff that was cluttering my life and my apartment, my physical space and my mental space, clothing, technology, books, old journals, kitchen stuff. Like, I just had all this stuff and this visceral need to get rid of it. And the bed was one of the last things to go, but it had to go. I had to complete this process. I was getting this feeling that this huge, big, ginormous marshmallow bed sitting on a big wooden bed frame. First of all, there's nothing under the bed frame anymore since I had gotten rid of so much stuff. So there's just empty space under the bed frame. This big, huge, heavy wooden bed frame. The thought of, as part of this Walden year, I also moved out of one apartment into a significantly cheaper apartment. Now I'm currently in an apartment in my parents' building. But the thought of moving that giant mattress and that giant wooden bed frame, I just didn't like it. I just wanted to get rid of it. I needed to feel the experience of getting rid of that bed. So I actually sold my normal full-sized 12-inch memory foam mattress or whatever it was, and I slept on the floor for a while. I slept on the floor in that apartment, just on some blankets and sleeping bag and things like that, and I did that for quite some time. I actually moved into my new, smaller, tiny, cheap little room in New York City, and I was still sleeping on the floor, just sleeping on carpet, sleeping bag, comforter, pillows, just sleeping on the floor. Okay, and why did I do all this? Well, I told you I was wanting to feel lighter, I was wanting to feel freer, and I wanted to read you guys a quote that kind of speaks to this really well, the deeper philosophy behind this kind of more minimal way of life that I've fallen into. Let me see if I could find it here. Here it is. We must focus on what is important in life. A person who is hiking many miles doesn't fill up their pack with a lot of junk they won't be needing. Okay, so that is a quote from a meditation teacher training I did in 2023. It's actually talking about death and impermanence. And if we see life as a big journey that we're on this big, grand journey of life, why would we use our time and energy and effort carrying around a lot of useless junk that we don't need. That's basically what that quote is saying. And I started to really internalize that. And again, I wanted to have that experience of letting go of all this stuff that I didn't feel like I needed. Like I was really having the experience of, it doesn't feel like I need this bed. And it's creating somewhat of a burden in terms of space, mental energy when I think about moving. It's literally adding weight to my life. The amount of sheer possessions I had was just so heavy, and there was so much stuff. There was giant piles of stuff that I was getting rid of during this phase. And the mattress was like the biggest and largest item. Anyways, got rid of the mattress, was sleeping on the floor in my new tiny apartment. And then I started to be like, you know what? Okay, like maybe I took this to the extreme just a little bit too much. I don't think, the thought was like, maybe I can reintroduce some comfort. Like, cause in some ways I was like suffering on the floor, on the cold hard floor in my new apartment. And I just wanted like some softness, but I didn't want like a big, huge normal mattress. And so I ended up ordering this twin mattress on Amazon. So just in case anyone's curious, it's a Novilla Twin XL mattress, 6 inches high, hybrid mattress. So it's kind of springy and a little bit of memory foam. And yeah, just popped this on the floor and I've been sleeping on it ever since. I actually ordered it in June 2025. So it's been just, at the time of recording, I've owned this for 11 months. And yeah, I've since moved into this bigger apartment that my parents had available for me in our family building. And I have the space now for a big normal mattress, but I just like don't want to add that weight back into my life. And this mattress functions perfectly for what it's meant to do, which is helping me sleep comfortably. I sleep like an absolute baby in this little twin XL mattress. And the thought of getting a big normal mattress, it just like, ooh, like I don't want that. I don't want that weight. I don't want that distraction. I don't want that heaviness. I feel so light and breezy having the very limited amount of, comparably, the very low amount of possessions that I now have. And having this smaller mattress is a part of that. I feel wispy and light and free. And like, if I need to move from this place, I can much more easily move this thing, can much more easily sell it and get another one if I want to. It's this, the overall sentiment and the overall way that my mindset has shifted towards material possessions since that walled-in year that I experienced is like, I see myself much more as a borrower. Like I just need the things that, just gonna use the things that help me get by while I'm here. That's all I need, nothing more. And when it's served its purpose, it's onto the next person. So that's a big shift, right? The prior mindset is this collection, hoarding, getting all this stuff, keeping all this stuff, collecting it in the apartment. Now it's like much more, I'm just like this pass-through element, that material possessions and things and other things too, like knowledge and experience. It's just passing through my vessel and then on to the next, right? So if you can feel into that, it's like a much lighter and freer way of being, opens up space in our consciousness and in our life to go for those higher pursuits, whatever that is for you: creativity, spiritual journey, relationship, whatever it is for you, right? It can even really, to think this way can even open up a lot of financial space and a lot of time space, because if things are just passing through us, if we don't need to collect stuff and keep it in order to be happy, we really genuinely need much less. So we don't need to spend as much money on as much things. And then with that freed up money and resources, that freed up money and resources and space can be redirected to those higher pursuits, whatever that looks like for you, right? For you uniquely. So that's a really long-winded and excessive way to explain why I sleep on a twin XL mattress, but it really is a physical material representation of this journey that I'm on, and a real shift in consciousness that I've experienced, where there's, radically less attachment to material possessions and an earnest feeling of more freedom as a result of that shift and this journey. Yeah, and I don't really see myself going back. The only one interesting thing that has shifted on this journey that I'll just mention since we're on the topic, since I recently started hosting meditation classes here in this particular space, I have had this light bulb go off like, oh, if it's in service of other people, that's a great reason to acquire material possession. For example, I didn't have a carpet here for the longest time. And then I found this awesome carpet on the stoop. I made a video about it, this IKEA carpet. And I was like, oh, that's brilliant. Like, that will make the meditation more comfortable for others. So now I'm renting that carpet, right, while I'm here and while it's in service to me and this community that I'm creating. I'm gonna have that here in service of others. And similarly, like, I bought a water filter pitcher because I noticed that people who would come to the meditations would prefer to have cold water filtered as opposed to straight from the tap. So that's been a really interesting shift in this journey, is like acquiring material possessions, not just to consume them and keep them because I think like I need that to be happy, but like this new mindset of, let me acquire things again so I can pass it along, so I can use them in service of others. Said way more than I thought that I would in this video, and I hope you're happy about it. I hope you found something interesting in this. I offer all sorts of things. Online community calls for creative entrepreneurs and coaches. I help people one-on-one with creative liberation online, with building their coaching business, with building an aligned life and business. I teach meditation for free multiple times per week. Sometimes I do meditation meetups in New York City. If you're in New York City and you're hearing this, if our timing's lined, depending on when you're watching this, because things on the internet stay there for a long time, maybe you're interested in joining that. It's super easy to get in touch with me. Send me an email, go to my website. You can DM me on Instagram or whatever. I would love to talk and chat about how I can help you, or how you might want to be included in any of the things I get up to, school, community, et cetera, et cetera. It's all on my website. I don't need to say all this. All I really need to say is click the website if you want to learn more. Okay, love you so, so, so much. Let me know what you thought of this video. Hit the like, subscribe button. See you soon. Bye-bye.